Hello, everyone. Welcome to our professional development today on Let's Talk About Time, a More Efficient You. A teacher's wish, which is more time. What if we could change our practices in some key areas and buy back some minutes, hours, even days to do more? This PD will assist you in changing the daily practices in the areas of lesson planning, feedback and assessment time-saving tips, collection of time-saving tools, and links to some time-saving tools as well. Now, let's get into our first tip, lesson planning time savers. How to organize files in Google Drive. Google Drive is a great source for collecting documents, live documents, sharing those documents, and collaborating with your colleagues in real time. These documents are easily accessible for lesson plans from previous years. You can also edit and alter current plans for future lessons. Let's watch a quick demonstration on how to organize these files in Google Drive. Now, here is what your Google Drive folder will look like in Documents. Notice you have a list of all of your documents here in Drive, and you can organize these files. So notice you can look at when the date it was modified, and you can also search for different documents using the Search Drive toolbar. You can search PDFs, Google Sheets, or even by file name. Click on the file that you wish to open, and you can organize it by date or by time. Click on the document. You can even preview the document here and choose which Google software you want to open it with. Use the back button to go back. And you can even organize your files alphabetically from A to Z, or you can organize your files from Z to A. Or if you wish to do by last date modified, let's say you want to go back to a previous year's file, you can also click on the arrow for that. This is a great way to organize your files in Google Drive, and you can also share these with your colleagues to collaborate in real time. You can even search your Drive by file type. So let's say we wanted to search for a spreadsheet. We can pull up all of the spreadsheets in our document and organize by file type. This is a great source for easily sorting through your files, creating unit plans, and again, collaborating with your colleagues. All right, next up we have HyperDocs. This is a great lesson planning time saver with HyperDocs. HyperDocs differs from Google Docs. So HyperDocs allow for students to collaborate with one another through links embedded within the doc. Something is either created within the doc or through a link. A key piece of quality HyperDoc assignment is that students reflect upon their learning versus with a doc with hyperlinks, students are consuming information through the sites they are linked to. And also HyperDocs can connect what they have learned to other subject areas across the content, including different topics and even the applying what they have learned to the real world. Now, a doc with hyperlinks only allows students to provide links to games or activities, and it's no student connection or extensions to in an explicit way. So next up, I'm going to show you how HyperDocs works. So let's look at this quick video on how to use HyperDocs. So HyperDocs is great for, again, extending those activities across the content, and I'm going to show you how this works. HyperDocs shifts the instruction from teachers to students. So let's go step by step. How to create a HyperDoc in 5 steps. First up, we have the first thing you want to do is create your objectives. What grade level, content area, length of the lesson, specific objectives, or desired outcomes do you want to achieve with your HyperDoc? The next step is the cycle of learning. What specific steps will students follow? Will they explore, explain, and apply? Will they be doing a workshop model? Or will it just be a HyperDoc model? Step 3 is packaging. What Google app can we use to package the lesson? So be that Google Docs, slides, maps, or sites? And how do we want to push out the content, which is step 4, their workflow, and step 5, which is the design. Okay, so using this example, and this is a document that you guys can use to help plan out how you want the HyperDoc to flow within your lesson. So for this particular lesson, it will be for 8th grade history, a 3 to 45-minute session. So we're just filling in the who, what, when, where, why, and how, going step by step of what we want to achieve with our HyperDoc. And I can link this document as well for you all. And this can be used across the content. So notice the teacher here is just going step by step from objectives to cycles of learning, how the content is going to be packaged. So we're using Google Slides to design familiar content. And then next we're going to our workflow. How are we going to push out the content? So this will be pushed out on Google Classroom using peer feedback and teacher feedback on Google Classroom. And then step 5, the design. How can we make the content engaging? Page color, fonts, table properties, images. So this will serve as a guide to creating your HyperDoc. So if you follow these 5 steps, creating your HyperDoc should flow very seamlessly. So let's go step 1. Here's our lesson objective. What happened to the USS Maine? That's our guiding question. Then we go into step 2. We're going to choose our cycle of learning. So here, notice the HyperDoc has links and how to apply what the students are learning. Step 3, packaging. How are we going to package the content? Notice here we are using Google Slides to design it. And then step 4, we're going to consider our workflow. Padlet is a great source. Padlet is also a live document that helps students to collaborate and post and share discussions. And then step 5 is to go ahead and design your HyperDoc. So notice the teacher here flips through each page, going through each content, and notice the depth of knowledge that the teacher has also included into the HyperDoc. All right, so our next time saver with lesson planning is editable calendars in Google Docs. I like this feature because you can link activities. This can also be updated when intermittent schedule changes arise, especially post-pandemic. We know that hyperchange is something we've had to adapt to within the past 2 years. So having this editable Google Calendar allows you to get a glance of your lesson plans, what resources you'll be using. And the best part about this that I love is that you can share it with your content team members so that you guys can collaborate and kind of just get a glance and overview of your units as well as your lessons. You can also go back to review previous years to evaluate what worked and adjust accordingly. All right, next up we have another lesson planning time saver, using Google Sheets to make yearly plans. Now I know that it's not ideal for us to use Google Sheets or even plan out a whole year. However, when you are vetted and you have previous year's lesson plans, using Google Sheets to plan out those years day by day, as well as just your weekly lesson plans and customizing it by color is very beneficial to lesson planning. So you can collaborate with your colleagues, you can edit live documents in real time, and you can also use the revision history feature to make yearly plans. This allows you to kind of go back, see what you did last year, make the necessary adjustments, because remember, the goal is to save time and we want to work smart, not hard. So this is a great way to utilize lesson plans for weekly plans, monthly plans, as well as yearly lesson plans. All right, our next time-saving tip is using assessment and feedback by color-coded activities. So going back to what we learned about HyperDocs, we can use those HyperDocs to color code specific assessments that we want to embed into our lessons. I love this because this also can be coded by depth of knowledge. So notice here on this example, our high demand is color-coded in blue, our medium demands are color-coded in yellow, and our lower demand depths of knowledge will be color-coded in red. This allows you to easily go back and assess what students have learned utilizing HyperDocs or live documents and provide feedback on those higher order thinking questions that you pose to students. It's an easy way to sort who gets it, who doesn't get it, and also sort out how you need to scaffold your lessons during your explicit instruction. All right, next up we have our assessment and feedback time saver with Google EDU Forms with our Kzena add-on. I love this feature because it again allows you to use those live documents to give writing feedback for our ELA and social studies teachers, and students can also provide peer feedback in real time. This Google add-on is free and it can be added through your Chrome browser. So when you share these live documents with students, we can easily see the history of feedback from teachers as well as peers. Notice with this example, we have color-coded feedback. We have some highlighted in green, yellow, as well as red, and I know exactly who is providing me with that feedback based on the color-coded key. So this is a great way for instant feedback and live documents between students as well as teachers to student feedback. All right, our next time saver with assessment and feedback is using Seesaw to give instant feedback and acknowledge work. Instant feedback, again, is a great time saver, especially with so much to do as a teacher. Students can acknowledge work completion by just simply liking their post. The teacher can like the post, a student can like the post. You can also have one-on-one conversations and interaction with your students. I love Seesaw because it's great for engagement, instant feedback, and a quick way to acknowledge that the work has been completed, and using a quick comment similar to what our students use with social media to acknowledge where they are in terms of their learning. This is a great tool. Now, using Google is a great way to save time. Google Docs and Slides also give ongoing and targeted feedback to students. Similar to what we saw with our HyperDocs as well as our Kzena add-on, you can use just a simple comment feature within a Google Doc to provide instant feedback for students, and you can embed rubrics to give targeted feedback and assess in real time. Google is a great time saver for teachers. I love the fact that it's live documents, very accessible, and students can see the feedback instantly when you post it for them. All right, so this concludes our presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post, comment, or share within our Padlet. And also, I will embed those resources that were provided in this presentation within our Padlet. And we can have ongoing conversations in the Padlet to discuss any other tips that you guys come across that helps to save time, as well as improve your livelihoods as teachers. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation, and feel free to leave feedback about this professional development on ways to improve, or something that you learned, or any suggestions that you have that you would like to share with your colleagues.